the history of the Equal Rights Amendment. If you're curious about the journey of the Equal Rights Amendment, or ERA, you're about to uncover a fascinating story of perseverance and advocacy. Let's start from the very beginning. In 1923, just 3 years after women gained the right to vote with the passage of the 19th Amendment, the ERA was first introduced in Congress. This was the brainchild of Alice Paul, the head of the National Women's Party, who had also led the suffrage campaign. The amendment was authored by Alice Paul and Crystal Eastman, and it aimed to ensure that men and women have equal rights throughout the United States. For nearly 5 decades, the ERA languished in Congress, reintroduced in each session but making little progress. In 1946, it was narrowly defeated by the Senate with a vote of 38-35. In 1950, the Senate passed the ERA, but with a rider that essentially nullified its equal protection aspects. The tide began to change in the 1960s with the rise of the women's movement. In 1967, the National Organization for Women, NOW, a newly formed feminist group, committed to fighting for the ERA's ratification. By February 1970, NOW leaders disrupted Senate hearings to demand a full Congress hearing on the ERA. In May 1970, the Senate Subcommittee on Constitutional Amendments began hearings on the ERA under Senator Birch Bayh. Later that year, in June, the ERA finally left the House Judiciary Committee thanks to a discharge petition filed by Representative Martha Griffiths. The ERA gained significant momentum in 1971 when it was approved by the U.S. House of Representatives with a vote of 350-24. The following year, on March 22, 1972, the ERA was approved by the full Senate without any changes, with a vote of 80-8. However, the ERA included a 7-year deadline for ratification, set to expire in March 1979. Despite this, the amendment fell short of the necessary 38 states for ratification. In 1978, Congress extended the deadline to June 30, 1982, but the ERA still failed to achieve the required number of state ratifications. Throughout this period, there were significant events and challenges. In 1978, NOW organized the ERA Extension March, which drew over 100,000 supporters in Washington, D.C. This was the largest feminist march in history. Despite intense lobbying and public support, the ERA did not meet its ratification deadline. Opponents of the ERA, led by figures like Phyllis Schlafly, argued that it would remove protections for women and open them to military draft. Proponents, however, believed it was essential for ending legal distinctions between men and women in areas such as divorce, property, and employment. Today, the fight for the ERA continues, with ongoing efforts to ratify the amendment. The history of the ERA is a testament to the enduring struggle for gender equality in the United States.